Hi everyone and welcome to a very special video because today I'm doing a CAS collab with GinovaSims, and this right here is G's sim Scarlett Harris, who is her main sim of her Generation 2 of the Crybaby Whims challenge. We are both doing the Crybaby Whims challenge. I am a little bit ahead of G, but she has just finished her Generation 2. She published the finale a couple of days ago and it was amazing. If you're not familiar with G's content, I would absolutely recommend that you go and watch. Her storytelling is amazing. But now let me tell you more about the collab itself. So if you're not familiar with sim swaps in general, we basically gave each other our sims to put into our game and then give them makeovers as if they were in our own game. So I'm doing a makeover of Scarlett as if she was Flora, if that kind of makes sense. And the timing of this collab is really good. Not only because G just finished her Generation 2, but there's also something really monumental happening with my Gen 2 as well, Flora. I did finish her storyline officially a really long time ago at this point, but her life is also coming to an end really soon. So this collab is also going to be a really nice way to honor Flora, which I'm just so happy about. I did say this quite a few times already, but Flora is my oldest sim by far. I've been playing with her for almost 2 years, so it's really nice to do something special for her as well. After you watch this, absolutely go and watch G's makeover of Flora, not just to see the full collab, but also to honor Flora, because we are kind of slowly saying goodbye to her. But anyway, to stop being kind of sad and emotional about Flora, let's talk about Scarlett and what I decided to do with her. So I kind of did this differently to last time because we did a sim swap a really long time ago at this point as well of our Generation 1, and I went about it a little bit differently, especially because I used alpha back then, so my sim style was also quite different. So I remember I did some little changes to the face and everything. Now I didn't touch anything, and back then I also used a very different kind of skin detail style because it was a lot heavier. Now it's a lot softer. It's just really interesting to kind of reflect on that now as well, because comparing the two sims that we did for Gen 1 and Gen 2 is just so different, which is just, I don't know, it's quite fascinating to me. But anyway, I did say already that I was giving Scarlett a makeover as if she was Flora in a way, but I also like to combine kind of the original essence of the sim combined with my own. So I kind of thought about, okay, Flora had this very cutesy, very aggressively cottagecore-esque style in her young adult years and early adult years, so I definitely decided to keep that because that was the most kind of recognizable era of Flora. And obviously everything was very pink because the colors for this generation are pink and white. But when I look at Scarlett, she is more put together and, in my opinion, a lot more modest, and she doesn't really seem to wear that much makeup as well, only on her maybe formal and party or so, but even that isn't that much. So I really try to do my best to respect all of those things. And Scarlett is a little bit more scientific, definitely more highly educated than Flora, so I try to pull that in somehow as well. So I was kind of thinking, let's try to do some kind of, well, corporate cottagecore, if that kind of makes sense. And I went with more cozy sweaters and some pants and skirts that are a little bit longer, maybe with some patterns, but mostly just kind of chill and appropriate for any sort of situation. One thing that kind of annoyed me was that I couldn't really remember any of Flora's OG outfits, because back when we did Generation 1 sim swap, I remember recreating some of Lauren's iconic looks, and this time I could barely remember any of Flora's, which is really ridiculous because, as I said, she's my oldest sim. I've been playing with her for the longest by far, and for some reason I could barely remember what she wore back then when she was a young adult, which is just so crazy. I should have maybe looked into it, but I did try my best to include some signature pieces, so if you do recognize them, let me know. But I didn't really do as much. I just tried to get this general style across of this corporate cottagecore, and I think that it did come out really well. I got a bit carried away and I did so many outfits. I really didn't even plan to do that. I was even thinking whether I should do all outfits or maybe just a couple of everyday ones, but then when I started, I was feeling a little bit insecure at first because I wasn't sure what I was doing, but when I started, I just couldn't stop. It's crazy. Honestly, I wish I did even more outfits because it was just that fun. I really enjoyed doing this, and it was kind of reliving that cottagecore-esque aesthetic again because I do miss it as well, but of course in a bit of a different way, which was fun to explore too. So no wonder I got carried away because I don't know, it just made me think a lot about Flora when she first moved to her cottage. Okay, I'm just being a little emotional again. Let's just stop that then. One thing I did obviously change about Scarlett is her hair, and I honestly don't know why I did that. It's just, I knew that I wanted to keep the bangs that she had, but I'm not really sure why I gave her longer hair and a little bit more wavy. It suits her really nicely, but I'm not really sure why I went with that change. Maybe because Flora had long hair in like this stage of her life, so I just kind of wanted to have that be included somehow. And I also gave her a more natural color ginger because it kind of suits that more modest and toned down and definitely more natural cottagecore look. So I guess that kind of at least makes sense. But I really hope that I did a good job. As I said, I really enjoyed this. This was just so much fun. And gee, I really hope that you like what I did. I hope that it did Scarlett justice and that this was a nice little send-off for her generation too. And I really can't wait to see Flora, especially considering the timing and everything. I really just can't wait, especially because our aesthetics are just so different. So it's going to be so interesting to see Flora in a completely new light. But okay, I'm just going to be stopping the rambling, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you like what I did with Scarlett. Let me know if you're familiar with her from before. So do you think I did her justice in her style? And if you're new and you're not familiar with Scarlett, again, go and watch G's content. You will not regret it. She's amazing. But thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe so you don't miss more cast videos. Goodbye!